Hello, everyone. My name is Christoph, and I welcome you to our Ask Mitra info session. Today, I will try to answer the question that we get very often regarding the question, how much of the requirements in a job ad you have to fulfill to realistically be able to apply for a job and really have a chance to get the job. So in Germany, if jobs are advertised, you will normally find a list of skills and requirements that they formulate, that you need, that you will have done in your past, that you have some certain kind of experience with certain tools in certain processes, with a certain type of employer or in a certain kind of environment. And we often get the question, so there are all these requirements, how much do I have to fulfill of all these requirements? Because it seems like it's impossible to fulfill 100% of all the requirements that are mentioned there and to have all the skills that they want. And that is true. I would say the job ad in Germany is kind of like a wish list. So they put everything in there that they want to have. They say like, okay, the ideal candidate has all these skills and experiences. But of course, the recruiters and HR departments know that it might not be possible to get a candidate that really fulfills all the criteria that are mentioned there. But I think to have a realistic chance when you apply for a job, I would say you would have to fulfill a certain percentage of the criteria that are mentioned there and the requirements that are mentioned in the job ad. And I mean, of course, it's very difficult to put a number on that, but I would say if you don't fulfill like 60–70% of what is written in a job ad, that it will become quite difficult to get the job. So you do have to fulfill the basic aspects of what is described in the job ad. And if you don't fulfill that, then I think it doesn't make sense to apply. If they want you to have several years of experience in a very specific type of environment and in a type of workplace, or an experience with a certain type of tool, and you don't have that, then I think it doesn't make sense to apply. But then on the other hand, I think if it's kind of like a list and you say, okay, if I go through this list and I have the feeling I fulfill most of the points, but there are some points where I'm not so sure if I have that and if I can fulfill that, but I'm also not so sure if they really want me to have that, or if I can also learn that at a later stage. Or if it's okay to have the major aspects, but maybe not to cover certain minor aspects, then I would say do apply, because as I said, I mean, it's not possible, or it's very difficult at least to have like a 100% match to what is listed in this wish list. And then what is also important to understand is that they often write about absolute requirements, and then they also say like, okay, an asset would be, or nice to have it would be, or certain other skills like language level. If they ask you for fluent English, for fluent German, then it's always a matter of okay, what does it mean here? That's not something, that's not a hard fact. What does fluent mean? On paper, of course, you could say, okay, fluent maybe means level C1 or C2, but then in the actual work situation, maybe it's okay if you officially only have B2, but or B1, but you can have a proper conversation, and the actual job is about something else and not having like conversations in fluent German. So that is something where I would say there's still some possibility to have a little bit less than is stated and asked for in the job ad, and you will still have a good chance. But do take job ads and what is written in job ads very seriously. Go through the list and kind of like try to tick boxes and say like, okay, I fulfill this, I fulfill this, I fulfill this, and see, okay, how much of the listed requirements do I fulfill? And then be very honest with yourself and say like, okay, if I'm in the situation of the employer and I'm advertising this job and there is an application where somebody fulfills these requirements, and only to a certain degree these requirements, would I actually invite this person for an interview? Would I consider the person for the job or not? And be very honest with yourself, but don't, I mean, of course you can be and should be optimistic in the sense of like not sit in front of the job and then say like, oh no, it's impossible that I can do this job. I mean, you can be optimistic and proud about your experience and your skills for sure, but don't exaggerate and don't overestimate your own abilities, and be very realistic regarding what is stated in the job ad. And also do write your whole application towards what is mentioned in the job ad. I think that's something some people don't understand, that you have to trigger certain things when they are listed in their job ad. It has to trigger something with you in the sense of like, oh, I did that in the past in this job, and I did the other requirement in the other job. Then that is something that has to appear in your application documents as well, so that the recruiter gets the feeling like, oh yeah, okay, this is a really good fit. And there are a lot of examples about the requirements that we listed where this person can actually give us an idea of what he or she did in the past that perfectly matches what we are looking for. So I hope this was helpful regarding the question of how much of the requirements you have to fulfill. If you have any questions, get in touch with us, follow us on our social media channels. We have a lot more YouTube videos online and coming up. So stay tuned and have a nice day. Bye-bye.